Okay, so this is Brettanomyces lambicus, otherwise known as Brett, and this is our secondary batch that technically has to ferment for 3 months, 3 weeks, a really long time, much longer than the other one. So here is the oats and wort and everything that we set up for it, and some nice sugar food stuff for the yeast, and the final setup for it. So here is the morning after with the Brett. You got to see some really cool fermentation happening with the bubbles. These little carbon dioxide bubbles. Okay, so that is enough of the Brett. We use SafeAle BE-256 for this batch, and that was because it was fast fermenting, and this assignment was too soon. To be fair, I also wanted to see how fast fermenting really was, but anyway, here is the outline for the steps that I took to make this batch. Okay, so here is the DME calculator. This basically just tells us how much DME to put into the wort, and the DME is basically food for the yeast. It says we need 568 grams of DME, so we got ready to start dumping all the tablespoons of that into it, and you can see that this spoon turned into a rock, which was super fun. Once we got to scoop 27, the spoon had turned into this rock form, and it was basically hardened syrup. And so everything was going super well. You can see the wort looks great, and we had used in the fridge, so we decided to add them. So here's some of the ingredients. Here's what we're focusing on. Here's some whey, and I looked it up, and yeast can't ferment whey. So here's why that's significant. In short, because the yeast can't ferment any lactose products, it should leave cool proteins and sugars, which should translate to a cool flavor. So the next significant ingredient is sodium caseinate. You can see it on the right. And it'll basically act as a emulsifier. It'll also act as a foamy ingredient, I guess you could call it. And it should increase the viscosity, but in general, it'll really help to just make everything stick together. As you can see, everything else on this Google search says it's a really good adhesive. So here it is getting poured. I obviously know what a Yoo-hoo looks like, but I wanted to see what the color looks like in clear glasses and not the can, so that way I could see if it had any impact on the final product. So we started pouring. Ew. Ew. Had some super cute emulsified chocolate chunks at the bottom, so that was nice, but now these should have some nice chocolate and sugar and DME and everything to feed on. Casey's checking the bricks in the wort, mostly because I don't want to break his expensive brewing things, and normally you want it at about 12, and this is about at 10. That's really not bad. I think they'll have enough sugar to survive, considering that there's a whole Yoo-hoo in there. But look at it. It's looking pretty nice. Yep. So I put it in an ice bath later. Here it is. Gonna take off the top. And it basically looks like chocolate milk. So that's nice. Just really hot. Note to self, if you think you have enough ice, you don't. Get more ice. It needs to get down to room temperature in 20 minutes, and it was boiling, so get more ice. Okay, so now we're pouring. Okay, so this is foreshadowing literally everything. And here you can see that I thought I had it. I really thought I had it. And here we get a horrible ratio for usable to wasted product. And here I really think I have it. Success, kind of, maybe, no. Reevaluating, missing. And it's all gonna go kind of well from here. And then I continue to pour, and you can see from here on out I'm just reevaluating how to pour it, and you see it goes kind of well. You can see this, it's happening, and this happens, this absolute foreshadowing of events. Horrible, just horrible. And then it goes, and you can see some more wasting of product. And the last finishing pour, and the actual final product the next morning. Some nice fermentation, some nice carbon dioxide bubbles, really nice footage. Here's what day 3 and 4 look like for the most part. Rings of proteins and sugars on the side while the yeast are still fermenting. Here's a quick shot of the airlock. You can see it's super quick. Here's the final batch for the SafeAle yeast. You can kind of see all the coagulated parts sticking at the top and at the bottom, but there's not really much fermenting happening as compared to the Brett, which you see here. Here's what the bottom of the batch looks like. And here are some accidental colonies that made their way in when I sprinkled in the yeast. So, it's bottled. One of them is bottled.
Yeah.
And here it is, looking mighty fine. See what it looks like under. Look at that. Look at that. Store-bought Yoo-hoo beer. You definitely taste the Yoo-hoo.
Yeah.
I taste it as I keep going.
Yeah.
The more I have of it, the more I'm like,
Well, it's not bad.
that is Yoo-hoo.
I think it's one of those beers where you wouldn't drink so many in one sitting. Tastes a little bit of the clover, a little bit of that.
Smells like banana.
Yeah.
Straight out of the bottle, smells like banana.
It's definitely from the yeast strain that we picked.
Ta-da.
It's not bad.
Plus Yoo-hoo. Do suggest. Would do again. Would probably add more Yoo-hoo. And here's the final alcohol content, about like 6 or 7%, which is impressive. Go Yoo-hoo beer.